come to Congress, justify its actions, for which we see no evidence to justify its offensive strike in Iran.
And to understand enough about the Constitution to the extent that I'm the one that's supposed to make a decision or at least get a vote.
No, you're not supposed to make
hear them
this
speak
decision.
like that,
We, the
how does
people,
that
are.
sit with you as a member of that party?
Well, once again, two things can be true at once. I support the president's decision to strike the nuclear facilities. I think it was courageous. It's a 50-year problem that we have done nothing to deter them from producing a bomb, and I think it was the right thing to do. The second issue, of course, is the constitutionality. When I was in Congress, I tried to correct these long 1991 and 2002 what we call AUMFs, Authorization for the Use of Military Force, that many administrations, Democratic and Republican, have used over the last 30 years to justify proactive attacks. Look, when you're the president, we all know this. You have a job to make tough decisions to protect our country and to do effectively what is right on behalf of the world. Can you imagine if Congress had to debate whether or not we would attack Iranian nuclear facilities? It would have been a joke. So we have two problems here. One is the constitutionality. We need a better mechanism for Congress to be advised because they've advocated their responsibility. But at the end of the day, I think we can agree that there are times where our chief executive and commander-in-chief has to make tough decisions and cannot, in a public manner, have the debate, especially on a time-sensitive subject like this one. And as you saw, 3 days later, there's not a peace accord, but a ceasefire that I think demonstrates that the Iranians recognized they had no way out, and this was sealing that deal. So I do support it, but I also understand why members of Congress on both sides are tired of advocating their own responsibility to ensure that we have some degree of separation of powers.
And what we're seeing in New York is pretty incredible, and I want to get to your expos, but some legal scholars do say even if they do go to the war powers and it's never been really tested, it may be actually unconstitutional. So we'll see where that goes. You posted today reacting to the mayor primary in New York City. You said, as the presumed next mayor has promised, New York City is about to become more affordable, but not because of socialism, because of capitalism. Housing is a function of supply and demand. You write the demand is about to drop like a brick. So you think people are going to leave New York? Mamdani also said he would arrest Netanyahu if he came into New York City. Statements like that, some say it feeds into exactly why this is dangerous, not just for New York City, but also the entire spread of socialism, a ripple effect potentially across our entire country.
Well, I've seen in my own hometown of Minneapolis a city council that has migrated so far to the left that it has alienated many mainstream Democrats. And thank goodness we live in a country, a republic, in which we can move if we have the resources to do so. That's why you're seeing an outflow from New York and California to states like Texas and Florida, low income, no income tax states, nicer weather. So states in the north that are higher tax, in some ways now moving to a degree of leftism that is uncomfortable. I think we are going to see some migration, if you will. That's not unhealthy because at the end of the day, states should compete for businesses, for populations, and be laboratories for policy. I think it's a bellwether. This is not about him being a Muslim. It is not about the fact that he's an immigrant. What's an issue to me is that he's a 33-year-old inexperienced executive. He's never run anything.
I just want to get your reaction because maybe less united outside of the economy is the immigration issue. In LA, they've been trying to stop some of the ICE raids, and now we saw yesterday ICE picked up 11 Iranian nationals in just 48 hours.
Throw them out of our country.
State of Minnesota.
They're here illegally. What don't you understand, people?
The raids right now in America.
Well, look, I think it's appropriate for ICE to identify people who may be risks who are here illegally, plain and simple.
Yep.
I mean, the law is the law. We've seen so much of an erosion of accountability at every level of the law in America that I do think it's appropriate to identify people who may be a risk. Now, targeting Iranians
out of the mouth of a
is
Democrat.
To me a really shameful pursuit. It's not about where you're from. It's about what you do and whether or not you're a risk. I can tell you in Los Angeles, just to tell you some of the consequences, because of the fear of so many, they're staying inside. Many people are staying inside. Small businesses are telling me right and left that business is down 20-30% in the last few weeks because people are not going outside their homes. So there are some ripple effects we have to be cognizant of in our economy. It's affecting everybody. At the end of the day, I've made it very clear. We should lower the bar for legal immigration to the United States of America and significantly raise the bar for illegal immigration. That is the answer. That is nonpartisan. It is non-political. And I think Democrats should come along. I think Republicans should also come along in ensuring that we have a constant flow of people who want to live in this country. We're very blessed.
Right. Dean Phillips, always great to have you. Thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you back here soon.